week?
Bye week was great. A lot of fun with the kids, extra time with the family, and just rest up. Those are a couple physical games overseas, so not just for me, for everybody. So I think everybody, it was an earlier bye week than probably normal, but at the same time, I think we appreciated the timing of it just with how physical those ones were. I know I sure did. So, yeah, it was good.
Where you at with that shoulder?
Feeling good. Yeah, no, feeling good. It's just one of those things. You just play through it, and I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Carson, how are you approaching this week, taking reps? JJ's taking reps.
Same way I always do, and that's the thing. I mean, even the first couple weeks here when JJ was playing, I approached it the same. I prepare, go through my routine, go through my kind of, so to speak, program of how I watch film, how I study the plays, how I get ready, what I do later in the week, how I take care of my body. That doesn't really change, and so that's the beauty of it. Quite frankly, is having done both roles in my career so far. I have what works for me and what gets me ready to play, and that's what I'll be doing.
What significance does the fact that this is the Eagles coming to town, does that play any significance to you at all?
Not really. Maybe earlier in my career maybe had a different feeling, but at the same time, you look over there and I'm not even sure there's anybody on the defensive side that I played with. It just looks different. So it's another opponent. A lot of respect for those guys. There's still guys in that organization. There's a lot of good people that I still have a lot of care for and respect for. But at the same time, that feels like multiple lifetimes ago at this point.
How do you look back on your time just in general, if you can entertain that thought to look back on your time with the Eagles?
Yeah, I'm thankful for it. They went and got me at a high pick, all the things. It was quite the roller coaster over there, winning the Super Bowl, even though I was hurt right here in this stadium. I'm thankful for so many things. I grew up as a man. I got married, had a kid while I was there. So there's so many life changes that took place there. So grateful for my time there. Obviously, it came to an end rather abruptly, all the things. Everybody knows all that. But grateful for all the opportunities I had while I was there.
I feel like that answer is now compared to if we asked you 4 years ago.
Yeah, it's different every year. It's one of those things. Life's a journey. God's writing the story, and I'm just along for the ride, so to speak, doing the best I can. And I've grown up as a man. I've got almost fourth kid coming here soon. Life's just different, and it's one of those things. I don't take things for granted. I have a different appreciation for things that maybe I wish I would have had a little bit different back then. But you live, you learn, and you grow, and that's all you can do.
Look back at the tape from your 3 starts here. What do you liked about what you were able to do and the offense was able to do, and what do you maybe want to grow from if you get another start?
Yeah, great question. There's misses every single game that I'm like, shoot, if I was just maybe I got too quickly through progression and missed somebody, could have hung on somebody, or not quick enough, some protection things that I could have cleaned up, especially in that Pittsburgh game that I could have helped myself avoid some hits. Some things like that there's still learning to do within this offense, and just I'm still always trying to learn as well. There's some good, obviously coming back and winning that game, that's always fun. That's always a good time. Finding a way to win is hard in this league, so getting that done. Came up short against the Steelers, obviously, but did some good things late in that game as well. So definitely been some good things, definitely a lot of things to clean up, both personally and as a team. And so a little extra time for the bye week to reflect on those things and just kind of hone in on maybe things that the fans and people wouldn't maybe recognize, but just some smaller detail things that I think I can be cleaner at that can help us for sure.
You mentioned taking hits. You've always been kind of a physical player and delivering them as much as taking them. As you've gotten older, have you thought more about avoiding them, sliding, getting down?
I've always thought more about that from day one. It's just what happens out there sometimes just happens. It's definitely something you think about. It's just in the heat of the moment. How do you think? How does your mind work? What instincts take over? And so it's always something I come back and watch the film, and it's like, that was probably dumb. I got to be better. I got to learn. I hate to say it, but I've been saying that to myself for 10 years now. So, but still always room to grow. And when next time I slide, I'll be just as hyped as everybody else, I think. So, always trying to learn.
Carson, in a league where momentum comes and goes so quickly, what's the best way that you found that an offense can regain the momentum, like play call or hurry up, or what can a coach do to get that momentum back?
Yeah, that's a good question, and there's not a real pure answer to that. I think every opponent's different, and kind of I've had streaks in my career where, hey, going no huddle, going up tempo has helped an offense. I've had seasons that hurt an offense. I think it's case by case, week by week, but it's sometimes just guys banding together. It's sometimes just a little extra work and making sure you're on top of the details of some of the smaller things, kind of what I mentioned earlier. Just that's what I thought, and just reflecting over the bye week of just there's some smaller things, like even though we won a couple games, there's some smaller things that could have went differently that I could have done, and so some of those small things I think you can just lock in on a little bit more, and it can flip the script in a big way. Protecting the football, that was the story of both myself turning it over against Pittsburgh and some fumbles and those things, like some little things that can change the course of a game. So that's momentum killers, that if you just do one little detail thing differently, it can change the shape of the game real quick.
Career did you kind of realize the value of executing the simple parts and how that can stack up?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I would say day one, but it's always something you're continuing to learn and kind of focus on. It's for me, it's learning a new offense this quickly. Those smaller details can kind of get pushed to the wayside because you're so busy thinking of all the other things, and so it's something that I don't want to lose sight of. I think is kind of how I feel, is just obviously I'm learning so much as quick as I can, but at the same time there's some simple basic fundamental things, whether that's mentally or physically, that I just got to continue to hone in on, and I've seen the value of those, I think, just throughout my journey every single year. It's usually sometime within the point of a season that you're like, oh shoot, whether it's the bye week or a little mini break, that you're just like, there's some little things here that we can clean up, and it's every season.
You touched on it a little bit in London, but what have you learned about, or you're continuing to learn about, what it's like to throw to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison? What those guys can do that maybe other players can't?
They're very good. I said that and I keep saying it, and there's some throws in that the last game against the Browns that I think having those guys and really the rest of the squad, that I'm not sure everybody's coming down with those. There's a lot of guys that aren't, and sometimes those balls might end up in the other team's hands. Just to put it blankly, the way Justin can go up and manipulate his body in there down the field, is second to none, honestly. And so seeing it up close and personal, I was just joking with him about it today. He's just different. He's different, and he's special. And so Jordan Addison coming back has been huge for this team, making big plays, as you saw last game as well. So those guys, I'm just trying to find ways to get them the ball as quick as I can, quite frankly, and those guys are making it easy.
Just seeing them make those plays, give you more willingness to maybe throw up a 50-50 ball that you wouldn't have?
For sure, yeah. No, it's the more you see, the more trust that it builds, without a doubt. And I feel like I came in with that trust, just knowing the caliber players they are. But now that I've seen it, it's obviously something. Be smart. Don't force it when it's not there. All those things. But at the same time, give those guys a chance. They're going to win more often than not.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.